Hello.
Ok, ciao.
Hello. Okay. Ciao, ciao. So, good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to me to be here again with our colleague and a friend of mine, Professor Koshalpreet Kaur from GD Goenka University in Gurgaon in Delhi. Good morning, Koshalpreet. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, Giovanni. I'm very well, thank you.
Your
Yes.
look is very, very beautiful. You look like it's very beautiful.
Yes, I think we all need to feel like that, especially during this time. And I'm hoping it's very good morning for you because it's very early in Italy and it's
Yeah,
yeah,
a little bit more early
yes,
morning. So,
early.
Koshalpreet, we can start to share our thoughts about different meaning, and we can start with your word, revive. Tell us a little better about revive.
Yes. Good morning, audience. And first of all, I would like to thank Giovanni and Polimi, the whole team, for inviting me to talk and share my thoughts about the new vocabulary building for new fashion with the changing times. I chose the word revive because, it's very close to what all we all have gone through globally in this past 3 to 4 months. If we look at the word, we say it's conscious. It also means consciousness. So, we all got very conscious during this time about social distancing and taking precautions for a lot of conscious things were happening, not going out of the house. We also relaunched a lot of things, the habits of staying inside, not going outside. Revive also means to make someone or something strong. So we were trying to make ourselves strong during this time, and even people around us strong, maybe a strong and a clean environment. So, I very closely believe that word revive has been with us in these past few times since COVID has started. We have even restored a lot of things. I mean, we stayed home, we had home cooked food, we were not going out, we were not ordering food from outside, we were spending time with our families. So I very strongly believe that this word is especially connected to the time which we are going through or which we have just overcome. And I mean, still, it's some time to change. To yeah,
Yeah, it's a very changing period. We are living in a change period. So how did
and
you?
we are going back. I mean, this is the
Yeah,
only time
probably
that we stayed
yes.
home for so long, and we are not going out to eat food. We are eating home cooked food. So all the old habits, the traditional habits, how our grandfathers or great grandfathers or generations were there, we stayed for these past few days and months like that. So that is how I connect the revive with the current time.
Yeah, and probably these revive are influencing also our approach in design, of course. So, what do you think about this?
Yes. So, see, when we talk about design, again, going back to my word revive, so our old traditions were there were small villages or communities which were self sustainable. They were doing the farming, they were growing cotton, they were spinning, weaving, they were dyeing, and it was a self sustained small community. So, in India, what has happened from these small villages, all the new generations, they came to big cities like Delhi and Bombay with the industrialization to work in the industry. But And they were not, they left their family tradition of weaving and the craftsmanship. So this India has been facing this downfall for the interest in the craftsmen to carry on, which was carried on from one generation to the other. But with this COVID, if you have heard in the news, there was a lot of migrant labor which went back to India. Millions of people, the migrant labor which traveled back to their native villages and their native places. So I somehow feel that, you know, these people, they can, they, if they're going back, they don't have jobs or the industry is all shut. If they go back to their place and maybe they again revive their generation craft or tradition or the hand weave techniques. So it is a very good time for supporting that craft or to realizing the value of that craft, so that these people realize that, okay, this is something which again is the need of the market, the demand, and they are sticking to their roots and they are reviving their traditional artisan techniques and the systems.
Okay, it's very interesting because also here it's the time to rediscover our tradition, our artisan craftsmanship and artisan tradition. So it's a very interesting moment to rediscover,
Yes.
view with analyze with a new point of view this manual probably practice, for example, no? And in university, did you are making something about this link between design, fashion design, like in the school, like in GD Goenka, and the relation with artisan or craftsmen, people that can involved in the design practice?
Yes, definitely. We are emphasizing during the design process a lot on the craftsmanship, making students aware of different techniques. As you know, you all, India is very rich in crafts, very rich with the heritage, and every state, every area has their own unique craft. So it is very important for us being educators to expose our students who are going to be the next generation of designers, who are going to create designers, first of all to make them aware of their crafts, their heritage things, and then help them realize how to preserve it and how to promote it. And there are few organizations which are coming up in India. There are few companies which are started by young people, young designers, in promoting the crafts, like Ecoloom is there, then there are Story Room Films. So these people are documenting the stories of craft in their journey, and they're supporting them. So a lot of our students, we are doing live projects with them, we are asking our students to do internship, even fashion as well as communication design students, helping them promote their craft with, you know, branding and how to market themselves. So yes, it is I specifically focus a lot on this area with my students, the design students.
Okay, and probably are changing also the needs about the customer, the final customer. So it's possible to understand if is in India there is a new kind of needs about fashion products or I don't know, a products where it's possible to see the beautiful culture, your beautiful Indian culture.
Yeah, because there are a lot of big companies also who are promoting them, like Fab India. It's gaining a big name and it's only helping artisans. There's Dastakar, who's getting all the craftsmen to one place in Delhi, and you know, people visit and they're able to sell their crafts. And yes, people are becoming very aware of wearing. So when we say, we need to revive, the complete chain. We need to revive the complete cycle. So like reviving the handloom, which we've already discussed, the hand weaves, even the natural dyes. So the dyeing process, when we do with the natural dyes, using natural fabrics like cotton, linen, jute, hemp. So people are getting more aware with these companies, organizations, educators, when they're all coming together in promoting this.
Yeah, I know. I know very well the project made by Fabindia, where it's possible to see how it's integrate the artisan part with a sort of mass customization product, no? And it's possible to talk about a new kind project as Fabindia did in this moment?
Yeah, there are other organizations which are also coming with the same design philosophy as Fab India. So one is like Eco Looms. They are doing saris they're focusing on the Maheshwar. Lot of people, even journalists and people are talking. When we talk about revive, we would also like to talk about the drape. The Indian traditional garment, the costume was a sari, a dhoti, which is what? Which is a 6 yard, 5 meter fabric. So it has been worn by people during the traditional times, and it is we are making it more popular with this young generation. So yes, many brands are coming up with sari, and I personally feel this garment as very sustainable, because it's just a drape. So if we talk from a fashion point of view, so there's no paper pattern, so we're not wasting any paper. We are not cutting the fabric. There's no wastage. Otherwise, if we see in the industry, relatively, it's 15% of fabric is wasted when we cut the sleeve or the necklines, and there's no stitching required in it, and it passes from generation to generation. I mean, if I talk about myself, I have all my mother's and my mother-in-law saris now. They're in my wardrobe. They never go out of fashion. And there are a lot of designers, young people who are experimenting now with the sari, from the traditional drape to combining it with the modern techniques like a t-shirt or wearing it with a trouser. So they're experimenting with the drapes now. And if we talk traditionally, there were almost 100 different styles of draping. So that are only the traditional ones. And if we revive them and combine them with the modern techniques, the modernization, and you see how different the numbers would go when we talk about drapes. And in this, I'm not talking only about India. If we talk globally also, Roman drapes were equally famous. So as a traditional dress, so Roman drapes, Greek drapes. So I think this is another thing, especially for India. I would like to focus on wearing a saris and making it more popular with the next generation, and many brands on Instagram and on these web portals which are trying to promote sari, with the traditional techniques, with the traditional printing. So if we say block printing or it's ajrak, so every state had a different technique of printing or doing an embroidery on it. So yes, these things are taking a shape, but with the COVID thing, I think it will take more. We need to accelerate that or moderate it into a faster process, and more focus will be that, because when people were sitting at home, they could think, they could think on this aspect of the sustainable aspect of the fashion industry, which is there.
Yeah, it's probably the aspect of sustainability in the fashion industry now in this moment. It's a very important pillar. It's a very important issue because, of course, the fast fashion has destroyed everything, destroyed the nature, destroyed the river. So today it's a very important moment. Probably we are living in a moment where it's we need to discuss and to rediscover probably a new process of production for fashion, where the sustainability is not just a trend, but a real approach to the new process, to revive a new process, probably to influence a new process
and make it a lifestyle. I mean, making it a conscious decision, making it a lifestyle, part of our lives, that we are conscious of making the world more sustainable. So that's what again, coming back to my point, that reviving our old traditions, reviving our old traditional practices in the textiles as well as in the fashion industry, which were all sustainable. I mean, we were using natural dyes, we were not using any synthetic dye, we were not polluting the rivers, there were no landfills, it was a slow fashion, and yeah.
And this kind of approach for the young students, for your students, it's what is the idea about these issues by your students?
Yes. So see, when I'm always interacting with students, and say suppose there's a very famous a craft fair which happens every year in February, which is Surajkund. So they have international craftsmen also. There are hundreds of craftsmen who come during that period of 2 to 3 weeks. So when we are taking students there, when we are exposing them, we are giving them knowledge about this, we are talking to them about it, or maybe like small things, when we say, okay, today we are going to wear a traditional outfit, I mean, just for a class, when we are teaching them this, and they buy traditional, because see, if they're not aware, they are not conscious about it, and they will not know about it. But if we are reiterating with them again, and we are talking to them, and we are making them understand the value of it, yes, they take it very positively. And many of my students, they want to work for such organizations. Like one of my students, she's already working with Craft Roots. So she's a communication design student, and she opted to work for the Craft Roots. That's an organization in developing the branding and collaterals for them. And there are many other people who are trying to revive also. So a lot of revival work has also started, reviving a craft which was probably dying. And then, students are interested in working in this area, because they also feel the need of the hour, the need currently we are into, and they understand what all the pollution aspects due to the fashion industry have occurred in the past few years.
Yeah, because probably also they understand that the future, they are the design that are designing the future. So it's important to understand the contemporary issues that we are living and we consider for our future. About the pandemics.
And also, I think it is as a responsibility of educators. Like we are the ones who are influencing them and teaching them. So it is our responsibility to make them conscious. So if tomorrow they are going to become some entrepreneur, so at least it is in their mind. They take a right decision to work on what kind of a product, what they want to sell. So if they make a conscious decision about keeping in mind the artisans, the crafts, reviving that, so I think they will make better decisions in the future, especially for their careers.
Yeah, this is my question, because probably we need to change also our approach in teaching about different issues. So how is possible, if you want to describe something about your now, how you are changing your approach in teaching in university about these issues, or how you can change, of course, during the pandemic situation, your approach to the academics rules?
Yeah, during the pandemic, I think we all were working from home and we all were taking online sessions and classes. So I think that gives us more time also. There, the practical approach was obviously it affected, like especially for fashion. I mean, they can't practically the hands-on experience which we do with them, that was missing. But yes, as we could focus with them for the online sessions and classes, and if they are doing a conceptualization idea or when they're doing the ideation part, so we can direct them towards this direction during this time because they're at home. And basically because design starts with ideation and conceptualization.
Yeah.
If at the base, if they are directed towards these kind of issues and value of reviving our crafts and heritage, and yes, they accept that and they adopt it and they come up with very nice design interventions and excellent design ideas in this area.
Okay, and about the pandemic situation, how is your country experiencing this big problem? Because, for example, now here in Italy seems to finish, or we are in a exit moment of the pandemic. And in India, how is your country experiences in pandemic situation?
Yeah, in this situation, I think India learned a lot from the world. I mean, when it was at the peak in Italy, it just started in India. It was mid-March. So we had a complete lockdown for almost 2 months. I mean, almost 6 to 8 weeks. And because, that helped India in understanding people, because see, we have the population is there. We have large number of population,
Yeah.
the numbers which are huge. For everybody to understand what the issue, what the problem is coming about social distancing, about habits and sanitizing and basic everyday routines, and even for the medical infrastructure also to make it more stronger during these 2 months. And the numbers were growing slowly, not very rapidly. And if you see in India, the numbers are high, but recovery rate is also very high. And now we are, I think, entering the peak phase. But yes, I think the advantage of that is many people are aware. Most of them are aware of the symptoms, of the issues, or the problems. People are more careful. And I think that initial phase, yes, if it definitely affected the economy of the country hugely, and that's happened globally as well. But I think it was a good decision to, for the lockdown for initial 6 weeks to 8 weeks. It affected the economy, but yes, it helped in saving lives of people and making them, gradually into this. So everybody gradually came into the terms of COVID and changing I mean, it was done in phases, like for first 2 weeks and then extended to 2 weeks. So people were hoping that, okay, it will open after 2 weeks, it will be controlled. So that hope was there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And definitely it has affected the industry hugely, the economy. That is the truth, the fact.
Yeah, we have just 5 minutes more just to finish our discussion about revive moment. We discuss about the sustainability in fashion. We discuss about the rediscover tradition and tradition crafts, the relation with the artisans and the design. So, how it's in your opinion? our changing the consumes about fashion, about fashion product, not just the clothes, a piece of clothes, but I think I want to say a lifestyle product.
See, I think everybody have experienced staying at home. They basically their idea about. I think this time everybody will be aware about and they will get conscious about the slow fashion instead of a fast fashion, because we are not going to the malls, we are not shopping, and we are not buying clothes, we are not wearing, I mean, it's just few clothes. I mean, that I think happened with everybody. And when we are working, when we are going out, we have all different outfits, and we wear something in the evening, and work wear and relaxed wear. So mostly people were at home, they were just wearing their relaxed wear. So I think as a consumer, people will get conscious about the fast fashion, about just going to the shopping mall and just picking up something which they just liked. I don't know how much time you're going to wear. If we analyze ourselves during this time of staying at home, and which everybody said this is a new normal. So how many pair of garments did you wear? I mean, otherwise in our normal routine as a consumer, we prefer different, especially from this field. So we want to have a different work wear, we want to have a different leisure wear. Holiday wear is again very different category, and we shop before we are going for holidays. So all these things people will get conscious about the fast fashion. And from the consumer point of view also, as consumers, they will become more conscious consumers.
Yeah, and probably are changing also the methods of sell and buy, because
Yes.
today with the iPhone we can sell everything, or we can buy everything through Amazon or other kind of method.
And this, again, to sum up, because I think just have 2 minutes left. These were the habits which our ancestors had. They wore clothing as per the need. It's according to the season. It's summer or winter. But our needs with industrialization and the fast time which we got into changed. So again, going back to the revive word, reviving the traditions from our ancestrals on even consumer habits also needs to be done with. And I think fashion industry adapts very quickly. With this 2 months of time with COVID thing coming up, many companies immediately started making masks. You see, then there are a lot of design masks, there's a lot of variety on Instagram people are selling. So that's how quickly our fashion industry has adopted to the change also. Many brands have come up, and all in India, especially if you see, they're all sustainable. Cotton with traditional prints, with the leftover fabrics. So yes, I feel everybody's adopted the change very quickly, and they will quickly adapt the change. And I wish that everybody revives our traditions with respect to fashion as well as the textile industry.
Okay, thank you very much, Koshalpreet. The time is gone. It was a very, very pleasure to see you. I'm very happy. So thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
And I hope to see you in India or in Milan again.
We are waiting for your workshop in India when things will be normal. You should please visit the campus and stay with us.
Thank you very much.
Talking to you. Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much.
much. Bye bye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. Have a nice day.
And thank you.